Dear colleagues, nice to see you. And today we are going to talk about teaching vocabulary. So the first question I'd like to consider is what it means to know a vocabulary item. What information are we to provide the student with before we say I've taught this word or this vocabulary item? First, because that's meaning, including synonyms and opposites. Then form. Form includes connotations, collocations, and spelling of the word. And then pronunciation, paying attention to stress, intonation, and strong and weak form of this vocabulary item. So this is why methodologists sometimes say that we need to teach the MPF of the word. MPF stands for meaning, pronunciation, and form. So, as you hopefully remember from the previous video, we start any teaching with presentation. So how to present a vocabulary items? We can use pictures, say a scarf, sandals, etc. We can use realia, a mobile phone, a key, a pencil case, or modals, a banana, a dog. We can use gestures, mimics, or intonation. I'm sad. I'm crying. Or this is very big. Yeah. Then, at higher levels, we can use definition or explain the meaning of the word. Then we can use synonyms or antonyms like hot is not cold or huge is very big. Then we can use a short story or a situation to present the meaning of the word. For example, you might say, yesterday I went to a restaurant. I had a really good meal, but when I got a bill and was about to pay, I found out that I had left my purse at home. Oh, I was really embarrassed. So you can use this story to illustrate the meaning of the word embarrassed. And also, you can sometimes use translation. Not very often, of course, but sometimes it does save time, or it can be used to check out how well your student has understood the explanation given by another means. Yeah. Then, how to check vocabulary, how to check the meaning. Hopefully, all of you have used the abbreviation CCQs, but maybe some of you don't know the meaning. So it stands for concept, checking, questions, which means the questions which are used to check understanding. Short, usually yes-no questions. To provide you with some examples, are predictions about present, past, or future? To check how well they understood the word prediction, right? Or if you say something is gorgeous, do you like it? To check out on the word gorgeous. Or at lower levels, you can just say, is it boots? Or is it a scarf? Yeah. So to practice vocabulary, yeah? Some exercises to practice vocabulary. At lower levels, you can use card drilling, which means you place the cards of the words on the board and then you show the card and make student say the word. After that, you take away one card, but still make the student say all the words. Then you take off the second card, but still make the students say all the words. And so it goes on and on and on until the students say all the words with the empty board, which means they have memorized the words. But this activity, no matter how good it is, has two quite significant drawbacks. First of all, it's really time-consuming. Moreover, with lower student, it might result in them remembering vocabulary items only in the order you've drilled them and unable to use separate item when necessary. You know how it sometimes happens with reciting poems when students say, "Oh, sorry, may I start with the very beginning?" So the same thing may be triggered by this activity. That's why I'd advise you to consider twice before using it. But sometimes it might be really beneficial. Another thing is slowly, slowly. So which means you close the card and then slowly open it before this or until any of the students is able to name the word. Quickly, which means you show them the card for as short a time as you can, something like this, yeah? And they also have to notice and name the object. Then, what's missing? When you place the cards, then have your students close the eyes, take away one of the cards, and the students have to name the item missing. Next, at higher levels, guess a word by meaning in team. So separate students in 2 or 3 teams. One team gives the definition of the word, and other teams try to guess the word. Back to board, it's also a team game. One representative, one member of each team comes up to board, stands facing the class and backing the board. You write a word on the board and the other members of the team try to explain the word to their representative. The team which representative guesses first gets a point. You can also work with definitions in pairs. Yeah? When one student gives the definitions, the other guesses the word, and then they swap roles. Next, you can work with definitions in written form. For example, each student write 5 words on 5 separate paper sheets like this, yeah? Then students exchange the words in pairs, write the definitions of the words they were given by their partner, and then exchange the cards with the student sitting back to them. And the student sitting back to them has to guess the word looking only at the definition. Then Wordley's domino is great fun but quite complicated. Here is how it goes. So you take the paper sheet, you write a word from the list, put aside the sheet, take the second one, write the definition of this first word, turn over the paper, write the second word, put aside the second paper, take the third one, write the definition of the second word, turn over, write the third word, and so on and so on. So in the end, you've got a list of cards, a list of paper sheets, each with a word on one side and a definition of a different word on the other side. The first card remains with only the word, and the definition of the last word remains unwritten. So you take this first card and write the definition of the last word on the opposite side of the first card. Then you bring this set of dominoes in class, make it up, mix it up, yeah, toss it, and then your partner has to put it in order, putting the word facing its definition. It's great that it needs no checking, because if the first word has its definition on the back of the last card, then it means you've completed the domino set successfully. Then you can use Tic Tac Toe. So you draw the Tic Tac Toe template, yeah? Write in the spaces either words or definitions. If you write the word, the team has to make up a definition before they put a cross or a nail in the space. Or if you write a definition, then a team has to guess a word before they put their sign. And then fill in the gaps. Yeah? Replace the words with synonyms or antonyms. By the way, these three exercises, tic-tac-toe, fill in the gaps, and replacing, can be extended by students preparing these exercises for their partners. So say, for example, make up 5 sentences with 5 words from the list, but replace these words from the list with a dash or with 3 dots. When you've written, exchange in copybooks with your partner and have your partner guess the word. And then check, right? The same with synonyms or antonyms. So this is for practice. Then production stage. What exercises can we use in production stage? Of course, making up sentences, but to make it more communicative, I usually say make up 3 sentences using 3 of the keywords, 2 true, 1 false. Tell them to your partner, and your partner has to guess which one sentence is false. Then, odd stories. So it means the first student in the class makes up a sentence using the first word from the list. The second student has to make up the next sentence using the second word, so that these 2 sentences make sense together. Yeah, like make up a story. To make it a bit easier, you may not limit the word, like not the first word in the first sentence, the second word in the first sentence. Just only any word from the list which has not been used yet. By the way, it would add a reason for more careful listening to check out on which words have already been used. Next activity is making up a story individually or in a group with a certain number. For example, make up a story using 5 vocabulary items you've learned today. Yeah, something like that. And Tic Tac Toe, where you write the key vocabulary in the spaces, having the students to make up a sentence again. Yeah? Of course, when we talk about learning vocabulary, recycling is really crucial. Yeah. So you need to occasionally get back to what you have already studied. And one of the interesting ways to do so is to have a box where you put cards or just paper sheets with the vocabulary you've recently studied. And one in every 2 or 3 lessons, you take this box and make any student take cards and, for example, give the definition for the others to guess the meaning, or make up sentences, or make odd stories. So use any of these activities with the words from this previously studied box. Another thing which we cannot help considering while talking about vocabulary is dictation. And here I'd like to highlight 2 points. First, in my dictations, I never use translations. With lower levels, it's pictures or realia or modals. So I show a picture, students write a word. And at higher levels, I use definitions. Another thing is that you only make dictations with target vocabulary. So if you've read a text, especially in a course book like Starlight, yeah, it's useless and counterproductive, making your students learn all the words they have encountered in this text. If you have a list of topical vocabulary, say character adjectives or weather vocabulary or clothing vocabulary or whatever, then this is what you make them learn and organize a dictation. So thanks for watching up to the end. Share your own ideas in the comments. Feel free to ask questions. I would appreciate your feedback. Until next time, take care.